They will say it. Arsenal fans are so fickle, very fickle.
Ladies and gentlemen, football fanatics around the world, welcome to the debut episode of Spot On Pundits on your YouTube channel. This is going to be your ultimate destination for Premier League insight, discussions, and everything in between. I am your host, CY Bliss, and I'm thrilled to be your guide through this exciting world of English football. Guys, the way my brain just they run, I swear. This groundbreaking premiere episode, we've got not one but two incredible panelists joining me, and we cannot wait to introduce them. First up is a football encyclopedia in human form. Can you imagine? A pundit with a passion for the beautiful game, a die-hard Arsenal fan. Please welcome Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Yeah! All right, so...
football fan also.
Oh, you can hear that.
So we can give him that.
You can give him that.
He follows Nigerian League.
Right, absolutely. So, and also joining us as a panelist is a football juggernaut, known for his wit, charm, and impeccable analysis. Give it up for Mr. T.I. Come on, guys.
All right.
So together, the three of us will be your go-to source for all things Premier League, European Champions League, and all European competitions. Probably we would also dive into other leagues around the world and see how we can move from there. So guys, I want to ask, it's the very first time on this podcast, and I want to ask both of you, including myself as well, what do you guys expect from this channel? What do you guys expect to see? What do you guys think? Can we go far, or is it just a matter of doing this just for fun, or we are doing it just because of the love of the game? What do you guys think, and do you think we can succeed? Yeah.
No, definitely for me, right, it's always been like, the passion has always been there, right? Like we do this almost every football fan, they do this on a daily basis, right? So we don't always have to listen to them, Gary and everybody else, because everybody's just talking about their own opinions based on their own perspective, right? So absolutely. I believe that we all do this, anybody can do this, but what makes it fun is the fact that we are just here to talk about football. It's the love of the game. It's not about who I support or who I like. It's just about the beautiful game. So I believe we can go far. I believe, and this is just the first. So we'll see how the tide rises.
You know, Mr. T, I remember when I was discussing about this with you, and you told me, let's go small. Start, do one or two things, and then we can see how it goes. You know, I'm not trying to be like Mr. Perfectionist. We have tried our best to get one or two things to make this more beautiful and memorable. But do you think that cost of getting these gears and things like this can stop dreams like this from happening?
For me, I don't believe that, because I think it is better to just start from somewhere, right? Even as a Christian, the Bible says don't despise the days of humble beginnings, right?
Absolutely.
It's better to start, to have something to work on, to improve, than to be ruminating on the idea and trying to start big and trying to start perfect, right? You can always look back in 3-4 months or even years from now and be like, oh, this is how we started, right? From moving forward, like, you don't know how big this can get. You don't know. It might just even be for fun. This might be where we'll just have to be maybe by the side of the road at a pub or somewhere where people just walk in and give their own opinion about the game as well. So it doesn't have to be in the studio. It doesn't have to be at home. We can take it mobile Absolutely. And everywhere. So Absolutely. That's the way I see it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Mr. Barker, what do you think? Do you think that this platform can push our ideas, especially as Africans. There's this stereotype that, if football analysis is done from a particular kind of category of people, that makes it legit. So do you think that for us coming together as Africans and staying far away from our homeland, can we make this happen? Can we break those barriers and see how we can break that stereotype as well? Do you think that we can go far with this?
Yeah, but I think in the importance of doing the whole thing, like it's just like, okay, we're three friends, we've known each other for a while, and like T.I. said, it's just like a gradual thing. You just start, like you were saying, like maybe you should even start with your phone and all those things. So it's just that thing, and it's something that we do every day. We talk about sports every day. That's what, like, men, women, everyone now does that. I think the only difference is we're doing it under the camera now, and like Tia also said, like it's just something that we love doing.
Absolutely.
And that's what we should look at first. We're just here to enjoy what we like talking about: sports, growth, projects, management, all those things those are the things that we see every day, and I think that's just what we're here to do. We're just here to enjoy it and see how it goes from there.
Absolutely.
So we don't need to really have to set a target. We just trust the process step by step. It's a project. Phase 1, phase 2. So we just
all right. So we trust the process, and as we march forward to a better and more conducive future for this channel. So throughout the season of the English Premier League, we would lead you covering various topics that will include match analysis. This is where we will go in depth for recent matches, tactical breakdowns, standout performances, key moments, and score predictions for upcoming games. We would also be looking at player and team performances. We would discuss individual performances, including top goal scorers, assists, clean sheets, and overall team standings, not forgetting the managerial strategies. Mr. T.I., I think there is a kind of something is going on in the English Premier League whereby we see these new managers are coming up with so many tactical way of playing football, and now the big wigs are always probably, can I say, afraid of playing teams like Brighton. Come on, we saw that from Mr. Porter. Porter guided Brighton to something that was unbelievable. Chelsea bought Porter, and then Mr. Zerbi came in. But he's playing an outstanding flow of football. What do you think?
Well, I think I'm not bragging, right? The English Premier League is the mecca of football. There's nothing anybody else can say, and that's no disrespect to all other leagues, right? What makes the Premier League unique is that it's like the Premier League is the United States of football as well. In like anything can happen in there. A very big team can so underperform, and a very small team from one island can do really, really well. And right now football has evolved, right? There's a reason why EA Sports is always telling you it's in the game. Right. The game has evolved, right?
Right.
The gap in terms of and the game has become more tactical. It's
Absolutely.
more technical.
I'm
right?
telling you.
There are so many things to the aspect of the game now.
Right.
Before, gone are the days when it was just brute force, right? Yes, the light in the days of them Roy Keane and Giggs. Yes, there was talent, there was passion, but there was a little bit of brute force. But now, Brighton can share Liverpool at any point in time, and it will happen just like that. And that goes to tell you that the game is so beautiful, the game is so diverse, the game is so dynamic that if you are not on your best on a particular day, it doesn't matter what team it is. What happens is, on that day, throughout that 105 or 110 minutes of pure football, it is who clicks.
Absolutely.
So if you don't show up, if you do not show up when you are being called upon, you take whatever result you get. Gone are the days of entitlement. Old Glory doesn't win football matches anymore.
Absolutely.
That I'm United or I'm Chelsea or I'm even Arsenal doesn't win football matches anymore. On that day, It is what you do. It is who wants it the most. So Luton today can come to Arsenal and want it better than Arsenal wants it. And they will get it. They will get it. And I tell people over and over and over again, with the Premier League, right? Sometimes you can get results without performing, right? But over a long period of time, if you keep performing, you will get results. It might take a while, but if you stick to what you believe in, and I know fans don't have patience anymore. Everybody is so entitled.
Arsenal fans.
Yes, not fans.
Everybody is so entitled, right? People are so entitled. They don't have patience anymore. After 1 or 2 games, they already labeled a particular player as being trash for the rest of the season. And it's not like that.
Okay, guys. So, Mr. T.I., thank you so much for that analysis. So, like I was saying, we would dive into managerial strategies to see their decision-making process as well as their impact on team performances. Also, we would also have categories like the underdog stories, whereby you will see success stories of smaller clubs that have exceeded expectations or had remarkable underdog victories, just like what Tia is trying to elaborate. We would also look into the areas of predictions and expectations, where we predict match outcomes, league standings, and individual player awards, discussing fan expectations. Well, that's a key point. Fan expectations. So you guys stay tuned to this channel. We've got a lot of things to offer. And as well, we would be discussing top contenders for the season, identifying teams that are likely to compete for the Premier League title, discussing their strengths as well as their weaknesses. Also, transfers and signings in this. I don't know why I'm laughing.
No, because Chelsea is king.
They've taken like 40% of the transfers.
So we would be talking about transfers and signings, covering transfer rumors, confirmed transfers, and also how this changes and impact teams and the league as a whole. So let me start from ground up.
Right.
Transfers and signings. Do you think what money can provide or what money can buy in the English Premier League, more money, can I rephrase that?
You need to.
What money can bring success, but more money can bring more success and more expectations. Do you think that the way money is flying up and down in the English Premier League, that this is going to be sustainable in the foreseeable future? Mr. Tia, do you think that is that is possible? Because I look at Chelsea, for example, my club, over the past 3 windows, we bought players worth £1 billion.
But it's just a shame you're still not the most valuable club.
See, guys, I need to clarify something here. I am sitting in between wolves. Chelsea fans, please come to my aid. These guys.
I'm trying.
Okay, so
we're unbiased.
Okay, I just want to believe that we are unbiased in this channel.
Today I represent like him.
Yeah, it's a basic Dutchman.
I'm from Turkey.
I'm here. Okay, so guys, let's talk about that. Do you think that the kind of money Chelsea have spent for the past 3 windows, is it realistic? Is it sustainable?
Well, first of all, let me say this: that money has left the Premier League. It's in Saudi now. That's where the money is, right?
My goodness.
But years back, Wenger said that it is not a sustainable football model, right? And people didn't believe him then, right? And I let's not even cap. Money is important in the Premier League, right?
Of course,
money is important. The how do I define money with respect to the Premier League? Money gives you it makes it an uneven pedestal, because if you can attract people, nobody rejects money. Nobody, Liverpool is not in the Champions League this season, but they will still buy players that some other big teams will be coveting.
No, my concern is this. Okay, for a team like Chelsea, their owners are able to dole out 115 million for a player like Moses Caicedo. Then you see a team like Brighton producing these players. Do you think that probably some of the big teams are underrating most of these young players that come into the league, or maybe they are coming from the academies, rather than probably investing the money in the academies to bring up these talents? Do you think that going after players that have made name for themselves over a period of 1 season or 2 with such big price tags is going to be sustainable for the league? Because like you rightly said, there is a shift. Now the Saudis are just banging in money left, right, center, buying players whatsoever. Do you think that the English Premier League can compete with that kind of rationale? I don't get it.
It's not sustainable because there's a new owner, right, for Chelsea. He came last year, so I think he's just trying his best to build and leave behind what Roman has done and all that. Chelsea fans will not expect him to sign a player like Caicedo every transfer window. Mm-hmm. Like you spend, even when Man City, when those Arab guys came, there was a lot of spending, but you can see Man City now are taking their time to recruit properly. They check which player fits the profile of their club. They are not overspending. They went for Declan Rice also, and they felt like the money was too much for them. They withdrew. They got Nunes, they got Kovacic, very respectable prices, like in the market, like what we see these days. So I think what Boli is doing, he won't continue doing that. Initially, he will spend, and you can see the policy that Chelsea has. They have a plan whereby they want to recruit the best young players in the world.
Yeah.
So you have to give those players time to grow and develop, and yeah. So. But
do you think that a club like Chelsea can give chance to players? For example, when Mo Salah was at Chelsea, right? How many seasons ago? De Bruyne was at Chelsea a few seasons ago. We could not help them to grow, but when they left Chelsea, they exploded in other leagues and they brought back to the English Premier League, where they are doing exceptionally well. So, what do you think? Do you think that, back to my question, more money can sustain success? Do you think that more money can do that? Because if you keep on buying without seeing the future for these players, mind you, the academy players are also there. Mm-hmm. So why do we spend this kind of money? Do you think that the Premier League should put probably an injunction or something that will help grow local talents?
No, that's not their job.
Yeah.
No, that's not their job.
The thing is, even if you do that, there's someone that was going to come into the game and change. Okay, Blackburn first started this money thing so early in the 90s. Manchester United were always the king, in terms of money, commercial. Nobody can match Manchester United. So in terms of money, they were ahead of everyone. Roman came, the same thing he was spending. Man City, the Sheikhs came. Now there's Saudi, so there's always going to be someone with money that comes. So even if you put an injunction, like American sports does it, whereby there's a cap for salary of your players, there's an amount you can spend and all that. So they try to regulate spending, but money always comes, and money will speak no matter where it is.
That's what I'm saying. Can it be that we put a cap on salaries, on the kind of money that you can bring in players? Because trust me, in I think in years to come, maybe teams like Luton, no disrespect to Luton fans, teams like Luton, maybe other teams I think it's the first time Luton is even coming to the Premier League in how many years?
Yeah,
I think it's the first time, right?
It's been a while.
So how do you explain that teams like that can compete with clubs that are so rich and they can bring in players worth billions?
That's the magic of the Premier League. That was your very first question. See, right now, even with the amount of money being thrown in the Premier League, right? The gap in terms of technicalities, tactics, team chemistry, management is really skewed. It's really not. It's no longer huge. Gone were the days where you can comfortably say that Man United are going to win 30 games in the season. Can you say that this season? You cannot say that.
It's not possible.
Even Man City can win 30 games. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, it's Abraham Maslow's theory of need. Even in the Premier League, right? Once we meet a particular need, another comes in instead. So, in terms of throwing more money, that is why you see that nobody throws money forever. Like Babka has rightly told you about Man City's philosophy. You know about Chelsea philosophy, right? There was the Arsenal philosophy as well, right? So people, at the end of the day, you buy and then you balance. That's how you do it. So you have to give yourself, money gives you the right foundation. And then with your academy, with the right management, with the right profile and personnel, then you can build. Then you use more money to sustain it. Because I tell you, the Premier League is 10 kings, 10 seasons. No team can dominate for 10 years. The max is 6.
Man City is doing that already.
The max is
process. The max, because
the max
everyone
is
has
6.
like a period you dominate.
The max is 6.
So you're going to tell me that Man City are going to drop levels this season, or maybe in the next 1 or 2 seasons?
I don't. When I say I don't mean they will drop levels. Man City will always be relevant in the Premier League. You can take that to the bank. But what I'm trying to tell you is that they will get to a point where they also need to rebuild, no matter what you do. Right. Manchester United had their time. Arsenal had their time. Chelsea had their time. Liverpool, I'm sorry. they didn't have their time.
I think every sport has that. Like if you have
Liverpool
like
fans, I'm sorry.
if you have like a model or a philosophy that's working, other clubs will like
copy it, improve on it. So you have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay,
So
now that brings me to this point. Now, Brighton has been doing absolutely well. So, do you think that for a team like Brighton to come in, develop stars upon stars upon stars,
No,
whereby everybody is...
They didn't develop stars. They also bought them.
No, okay, for example, see like Moses Caicedo.
Yeah. It was
He
bought.
was bought for how much?
Yeah.
4 million. But the
That's
issue
good.
is like,
You have to identify the right personnel. That's what I'm saying, right? You can go elsewhere in Europe and see talent and bring them in. Once somebody is a talent, they just need a little bit of time in the right atmosphere and they will perform. That is why you give it to Brighton.
Okay.
And don't forget, Brighton also has money now.
No, very well. So do you think, it also brings me to this point, do you think that for clubs like Brighton, because they are one of my favorite teams now.
Because they keep
everybody, because
No.
they have a good model.
They have a very beautiful model of football that is going on from their management to the players, everything. So I marvel at the way they are conducting their business. For their president or their chairman to sell Caicedo for 115 million. Do you think he was very greedy when he bought it for 4 million?
He wasn't greedy.
So do you think that Moses Caicedo is worth 150 million?
A player is worth what somebody is willing to pay for him.
Yeah.
A player is worth what anyone is willing to pay for him. And that is not what, see, sometimes we as fans, we confuse a player's monetary worth to their value or talent. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Moses Caicedo Declan Rice was worth 115 or 105 million, right? That's not the equivalent of his talent or his worth. It is what Arsenal was willing to pay for him.
And what West Ham wanted.
So now, what do you think this season? Do you think that there is going to be an upset for certain games? Like, let me not say who is going to win the Premier League, because for me, if you should ask me, I think that Arsenal has been a club that has given me joy. Why? Because I see that there is another team in London that is able to push Man City right now. I know Chelsea is there, but my club,
just say it with your chest that all the London clubs
the London clubs has failed.
That the real king of London are in power. Just say it won't hurt.
No. How can you say that? Who are the kings of London?
Let me ask you a question.
In what way?
Let me ask you One quick
Let's talk
question.
about Champions League. How many?
Hold on.
In 10 years, how many?
Before we digress, right? One question.
All right, let's go.
The most successful club in London
Mm-hmm.
is what team?
Who? Chelsea.
Really?
Chelsea, for real. Chelsea, for real. Bro,
Ask ChatGPT.
But the thing is like football didn't start in 2003.
No. We cannot be doing old time religion. We are talking about
19th century.
no. We are talking about now.
Talking about now, are you as
Yeah, we're talking about now.
Are you as successful as I am?
No, when you talk
You
about
said now.
success, now what are you talking
Generically.
about?
Generically.
Exactly. So let's talk about in the last 5 years.
Okay, let's talk about in the last 1 year. The best,
No.
the only London team that haven't had a trophy last year was West Ham. So it should be West Ham. West Ham is the best team in London. We'll get a West Ham panelist to join
Okay.
us.
I told you guys that I'm in the list of names.
Bands aside. We're back.
Okay. Let's proceed. So, who do you think is going to give a headache in terms of team performances, in terms of managers trying to make their team play in a certain way? Because I have a feeling like that this season is not just going to be like any other season. Already we can see that the underdogs are playing so well.
There are no underdogs in the Premier League. Point of correction.
I think I kind of agree with you. I don't think there is any underdog anymore in the English Premier League.
They've handed it to Manchester United this season, right?
I think now it's like maybe the promoted teams, Sheffield United,
Luton.
Luton.
Yeah, because those guys don't have the finances. Look at Luton, like their infrastructure is that of a League 2 team, but they're in the Premier League. So those ones are never meant to be here, but they're here. So those are the only ones.
That's not, but that's the joy of football, right? Yeah. Earlier today, I was watching Gary Neville and Carragher walk up the stairs to yesterday's game to the Luton's stadium, and I was touched, right? Because he actually tells you that in the Premier League anything can happen. A team can come from nowhere and have a representation to participate and have a stake an opportunity to partake in it, and they will give a good account of themselves. When I say a good account of themselves, to the capacity or the capability that they have, right? You will still watch them, right? But at the end of the day, that's the beauty of it. So to me, there are no underdogs, honestly.
Okay.
Nottingham Forest is not Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest.
They don't popo people.
Those ones, they have spent so much.
They have spent so much this
like,
season.
I am shocked. Like a top 16.
I'm shocked.
So that's what that's what I'm trying to say, right? That now, because of exposure, because of access to fund, because of better scouting opportunities, because of improvement in tactics and managerial acumen, anything can do well in the Premier League.
Yeah, Premier League is really tough right now.
Any team can do well.
Okay, so I'm going to ask both of you, what are your 5 top contenders this season?
In terms of
good football, good tactics, and what have you? Let's just see your top 5 teams that you should I say top 5 or
teams to watch or
overall top contenders?
Baka.
Teams to watch.
Baka, what do you think?
Okay, me, I'm looking at Burnley because.
But they have lost like 2 games already this season.
Yeah, but this guy came with so much hype and like people like are expecting maybe his knowledge from how Man City was and all those things. And he changed completely how Burnley used to play. You know, under Shandag we used to see like very old school kind of football. Typical 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
Yeah. So company has changed some things, like they dominated the championship, but they lost a lot of players because of the loan many of them. Yeah. So we want to see how he's going to navigate in the Premier League. So that's one team I'm really looking forward to seeing this season.
Okay.
Which other team? Unai Emery, Aston
Villa.
Yes, you have to.
So Unai, his first team that Arsenal didn't go so well because of the way he was brought in and how the club was run at the time. So unfortunately, it didn't work out for him.
And now we run himself.
Yeah, but that guy is an experienced campaigner and knows a lot of football. Maybe in terms of communication, probably he's not like the best in the world and all those things. But as a football coach, I think that guy is really good.
Want to watch?
So yeah, I want to watch him. I think Manchester United also, because the reason why I'm saying Manchester United, because last season they were like, David De Gea was hampering how they need to play from the back and all those things. But personally, I felt like the way they won games last season was better, because it was just like, not like smash and grab, but they knew how to grind it out, and they had a keeper that would be able to keep things out. So now with this new keeper that they brought, that they feel like, okay, they'll be able to play from the back. I'm not seeing it yet. So I want to put them among my teams to watch, so that I can see how they can be able to do that. Then which other team again? Which teams are there? Not Wolves. They got Gary O'Neill. I think they've given up, like maybe they are going to fight relegation or they are going to go down, because that's what transpires. I don't see anything they've done. Yeah, so I want to see how Wolves also are going to try to play. And also Bournemouth, which is Gary O'Neill's former team also. They brought this Riola guy. I think he's a young coach. And yeah, so there's like, people speak highly of him. I want to see how he's going to do, because personally a lot of people felt like Gary O'Neill did well last season to keep Bournemouth up. And they sacked Scott Parker at the beginning of last season. This season also they sacked Gary O'Neill.
The most stylish Premier League.
So those kind of teams, like the ownership, like, are kind of trigger happy, and we want to see why all those things are happening. So I'm really looking forward to see how Bournemouth does. So those are the 5 teams. So there's no Man City, there's no Arsenal, there's no Chelsea, there's no Liverpool. I think all these teams we already know how they are going to play, and how we've seen from the last few years.
I quite agree, but for me personally, I'll be looking up to Brighton. I'll be checking Nottingham Forest. I'm specifically looking into Nottingham Forest because I wouldn't like
banging in goals.
No, that's so far. 7 goals.
Absolutely
back, right?
Man.
It's.
Do you think he's underrated? I wouldn't.
Every striker that doesn't play for a top tier club is underrated in the Premier League. That's the norm. Every striker that don't play or don't have the footwork or the eliteness or the finesse of the out and out, in quote, world class strikers, they get looked down upon. It's the Premier League until they prove themselves, right? So I'm looking forward. I want to see how well Nottingham Forest does, how well Brighton does. I'm a fan of Unai Emery also, so I'm definitely checking out Aston Villa. I'm also rooting for Newcastle. It's so to say, and I'm also checking Tottenham Hotspur out. It's sad to say, but I'm saying, I guess that's what FPL does to you, right? Yes, it makes you root for some teams. So I'm looking into that, and the teams that I believe that they probably might not amount to anything. This is just my opinion. Like, I'm not saying it as a fact, but I don't know. Liverpool, I don't know.
Do you say that because of the way they have started their season, or their back-to-back losses of reinforcing their midfield? Because you could see that Liverpool, as of last season, their squad was shaky a bit, and that transpired to this season, and they sold off Fabinho and they sold off Henderson, which was the core foundation of their midfield. So do you think that by them selling those 2 players, they have weakened their side?
Well, Liverpool was done the season they won the league.
Okay. For me, I think
they were done the season they won the league, and then they sold money, and then they brought in people. My point is this. This is my personal opinion. Klopp has overstayed his welcome. He should have left.
Wow. So now, if you say that English Premier League is trying to attract the top coaches around the world, Klopp is a top coach.
Yeah.
He's a top coach. So if you don't want to see him in the Premier League, come on.
I'll tell you one thing. And this is cliche, right? This is my niche, right? I'm not trying to stir up the pot, but I want to ask you, is Klopp a one-trick pony coach?
Yeah, but because that's the way he plays, right? I would know, like from Dortmund to where was he before?
So are you trying to say he's been found out?
Mainz, yeah.
He's been found out.
Liverpool has been found out.
No, they've not been found out to me, because why I'd say they've not been found out, like the pressing style that they do is still there.
Huh.
So the only thing is like, and that's why I won't feel it was better for all those Henderson, Fabinho to have left. The only thing is like for him, his team, like sometimes it shows fatigue. Like after one season, like when they go,
That's my point.
then, like the second season, you see like maybe they're a bit drained. So he needs like maybe like 2 starting 11s.
Okay.
Maybe like another one that can step in.
Question. How many years has Klopp been in Liverpool? Klopp has spent almost 8 years in Liverpool, right?
Yep.
And how many years how many years has been really, really remarkable?
I think maybe the year they won the Champions League.
No, Premier League. Premier League, they were like outstanding that year, because now you could see from
the year before they won it, and the year they won it, right? After that,
I think not this season, the season before last. Like that's when they were talking about the quadruple, that thing, and they ended up winning only 2 trophies. It's still a good season.
Which trophy did they win?
Is it EFL and FA Cup, right?
FA Cup,
yeah. Then they lost in Champions League finals.
Yeah.
So at least you see, like all those competitions, at least they were there till the end. So that's still a very good season for me, because you're not going to win always. Like even Premier League, there are 20 teams, so you cannot tell me that 19 teams failed. Everybody has a target whereby, when you reach this one, you are succeeded. But for me, I think that was a successful season for them.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say is that in terms of the expectation, in terms of everything. Now, to me, every Liverpool fan believes they are back. That Liverpool is back.
No, okay, that would be like.
And that's my
point.
Back away.
As in, like they are here to dominate.
Me, I feel like this Mohamed Salah money, they should have taken it. Let them just move away from that generation of
exactly
Salah,
my
Mane,
point.
All those things. Just start build again.
That brings me to that point. Saudi Arabia, 200 million pounds bidding for Mo Salah. Do you think? My God.
I will have sold at 110.
If you have a star player at that age, we sold Henry when he was 29, right?
Yeah.
29. When you have that kind of player, I see Harry Kane also left. I think if you get that kind of money, man, at that age, baby, he still has a bit to produce.
Okay.
Rebuilding is always fun.
Okay. And it's better when it comes in. Rebuilding is always better when it comes in 2 years earlier than when you will need it. But almost every team is always rebuilding in that moment when they need it.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Chelsea.
And that front line now, they have Jota, they have Nunes, they have Gakpo, they have Diaz. I don't know, there's maybe like 1 or 2 persons that.
No, there are only 2 players out of the 4 that.
No, just the bodies. Nunes, right? The Nunes that came. Yeah. They don't even need to buy someone right now.
Yeah.
Just take the money. Let Mo.
Because it's not like
he has had these moments already.
It's not like they're in the Champions League. It's not like they're
he's the best Arab player in the world. He should go to an Arab league.
Absolutely. I think I agree with you, Mr. Baka. All right. So this brings me. I think Tia, you've already said something about English league being the best league in the world. So I want to ask this question so that we get clarified, right? So is the English Premier League the strongest competitive league in the world to other leagues like La Liga, Serie A? Do you think that the English league is the top and the best league, or would you rather say that the influence of money has made English Premier League like top of the league in that perspective?
Okay, I'll ask you. I'm sorry to answer you with a question, right? What other league in the world will a team that is relegated beat the champions?
Come on, we have good leagues like the Bundesliga.
Okay. The thing is like
we have Serie A is also good.
I didn't know. I only ask you a question. How many times do you see in a league that the least performing team goes to the champion or the best side and gives them a whooping?
Okay, you know why? I'm going to say this. Okay, let's bring our discussion, center discussion around the European Champions League. Now, if the Premier League is one of the strongest in the world, how come that the English Premier League sides have not actually won the Champions League back to back in quick successes?
That's easy. It's fatigue.
It's happened now. It has happened. There was a season like both European finals were English teams.
And that was just a one-off season. It was a one-off.
Before then there was a time like even when Champions League quarter final, like the last 8 to be like 4 English teams. That 2008 time, 2009 time. English team. I think for the last 20 years, it's not even a debate. And it's not even about money. I think it's about TV and what people prefer to watch.
Yeah.
So that's where it is. Because for me, I would rather watch my Brentford and Brighton play than to waste my time watching Barcelona play against Girona or whatever teams that they're in.
You know the scores. You know what's going to happen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Right? The Premier League has, the Premier League has flair. Right? It has drama. He has controversies. He has banter. Everything. He has money. He has everything.
And the brand is generally way better.
And I believe the word strongest or the best is very subjective, right? Because it depends on what people. What I like the most about La Liga is the technicalities. That's what I like, right? What I like the most about the Premier League it's the agility, it's the passion, it's the speed, it's the dynamism, right?
Okay.
That's what differentiates the Premier League. Do you actually? How many times do you want to sit down and watch Atlanta Napoli?
Yeah, but those ones are even better. Like I even prefer German League and Serie A compared to La Liga. For me, that La Liga, I think is just like
La Liga only follow like 3 teams.
They only try to promote Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Can we now say that the Premier League has more of the global appeal compared to other leagues?
That's the word. A global appeal. That's the right word. It's not about the strongest, the best. It's the preferred league to watch. It's the preferred league to watch. That's it.
Let's see.
For to most people, not everyone, because somebody like Shakes now will debate that. Will debate that
for his love of his.
No, but Syria is trying. Like they're trying, but like, even like now they're playing their cutting razors in other countries.
So they're trying to. Which is
but La Liga, I don't know, man. Their strategy for me it's wrong.
La Liga is so polarized. It's skewed towards specific teams in specific capital
and specific players.
That's what I don't like about it.
Okay, so that brings us to the fan culture in the English Premier League. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Which of the stadium has the most electrifying experience and atmosphere in the English Premier League?
Hands down is Anfield. Hands down is Anfield.
No, you're not wrong, because there was a study that there was a study that was conducted, I think, by Mail Sport, something like that, Daily Mail. They actually kept the fans. It was an open poll which the fans voted. So Liverpool came up. 27%.
It's Liverpool, hands down. Actually, my own experience, my very first foray into live whatever was actually in Newcastle, right? And I know Newcastle is also there, but Anfield, hands down.
Anfield is just special.
I know. If they actually. As in, nobody should sue me or anything. Anfield should actually be called the Theatre of Dreams. It should be called the Theatre of Dreams.
My goodness.
The atmosphere is crazy.
No, but I think it is based on the Theatre of Dreams for Old Trafford is based on what they've witnessed and those things in the stadium. Probably that's why.
Right.
Yeah, for that one, it's Old Glory for United. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Old Glory, of course.
But Anfield, till tomorrow, you can feel it. You will shake.
Wow.
I think these teams like Arsenal, Man U, the atmosphere might never be good again because of the perceptions that the fans have. They are so entitled to, like, okay, we demand success, and when they see something, they don't appreciate.
They are so vocal. They are too elitist. is that they actually, what's the word for it? There's an English word for it. Opportunism or something, I can't remember. And like Baka rightfully said, too much entitlement. Some fans, now I'm going to lump down, this is a general thing, I'm going to lump everybody together now. Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, right? Sometimes they don't understand that your best might actually not be good enough. They believe that if you don't win the league, it's not your best.
I see.
And sometimes a team is just better. Sometimes you miss the margin, and then you go again. So those fans, they have weird ways of measuring expectations. They don't measure success in inches; they measure it in kilometers.
Okay, so next up is Newcastle, St. James Park, 16%.
Yes.
16.
Good old
Do you think my expectations were we are going to have teams like Man City on top of the list? We are going to have probably Liverpool there, Manchester United. But
no.
The first 5 of this poll shocked me.
He has to.
That's true.
He needs to. Newcastle has a lot of tradition also.
Yeah. And those are the
top two teams that you just mentioned is deeply rooted in tradition. You cannot walk around Liverpool and go and wear another club's team jersey. They can beat you up.
Wow. Wow.
All road leads to Anfield. Oh, wow. The Magpies, the tradition is.
But I can wear Everton jersey in Liverpool.
Because they will tell you it's still Merseyside, right?
Oh my goodness. So the third up there is Manchester United, Old Trafford, 10% of the polls. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I'm a fan of giving props to when it's due. You cannot take anything away from Manchester United. You cannot take anything away from them. They've been there, they were there, they are still in contention. Even when I'm not a fan of Eric, but yeah.
Wow.
I'll give it to them.
The 4th on the list is Crystal Palace, bro. Can you believe that?
Well, Crystal Palace, it's like some of these stadiums, like they have a very, very hostile environment. So like as an away team, if you come there, as an away fan, you go there, you are not comfortable like for 90 minutes.
They will stifle your creativity.
That Crystal Palace, I've forgotten which year Crystal Palace got promoted.
Yeah.
Like from the first game, you can see it.
Wow.
You can see it like, no, this place is not where you'll be comfortable.
So we have next up Arsenal, Emirates Stadium.
Yeah, like Emirates is not doing bad. I'm not sure the atmosphere in Emirates.
Do you think the atmosphere in Emirates
and in
Highbury?
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same thing.
There's that thing Wenger said, like, it's like we left our soul.
We left our soul in Highbury.
Emirates now is just like one shiny, nice.
It's like a glorified edifice.
Just come, drink the most expensive drinks, and just expect the most
expensive ticket, and just expect that the team must win.
To play well.
So just like driving Bugatti and Toyota.
Yeah, your Toyota is very, very economical. It serves the purpose. Your Bugatti is for sure. Okay,
so guys, that was the first 5. So we will leave it at there. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been we've spent quite a time trying to figure out how to navigate, but I'm surprised. We are here. We've started.
we have started.
Finally. All right. So we would leave it there, and we'll try to bring in more content. All right. Okay. So football fans, get ready for an amazing ride with this channel, Spot On Pundits. If you like to call it SOP Football.
Why the name SOP? Why SOP?
You've asked me about this name. Why? I don't even know, but the name came up with the idea of, because I know you to be someone that is always spot on with your decision making, spot on with everything, and I know Baka as well. He says how it is, and I know the kind of person I am. I'm also always on
So it's
on
standard
Spot.
operating
So it's just a
procedure.
standard protocol you have to follow. So you have it there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are grateful. This is the very first episode of this program. We hope to roll out more content for you in the coming days. So please stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this podcast to your fellow fans. Until next time, you remember in football, every moment is a chance to make history. Thank you very much. Any last words, Tia?
Take your time.
Martha, any last words?
No, that's why Feggy time is nice. No, that's why it was nice we scored them that last minute goal.
All right.